Hello again, everybody. Kirby1 here. Welcome back to my series Basil is Not Ideal. Like I was mentioning in the forums on Discord yesterday, Memorial Day was Memorial Day in America was my wife's birthday as well. So I took a little break over this whole weekend from YouTubing and stuff like that. So we're getting this in a little bit late. It's going to be a little bit shorter, hopefully. I don't really do so well at not rambling, but maybe we can keep this one short, concise, and not end the series on this episode, but either this weekend or next week will be the last part in the series that'll wrap the game up and present the victor of this game. Unideal as it was. Turn 62, if you recall, left it on the cliffhanger of Wrath of Godding, and there it is, Wrath of God. We already kill 122 heretics. Go us, yay! Mostly skeletons, I'm sure. But that's still less skeletons that I'll have to cut through with my swords. So that's great. And that was the entire plan. Got a couple of flame bolts striking at me. And that was here. Where he was pretty ineffective at actually stopping my storming on the fort. But he killed a couple of people. He hasn't moved out from this throne that he took from me. Did he claim it? This is the crystal throne. Read messages. He did claim it. Okay, so that's why he was there. He's waiting to claim that throne. And then we'll see where he moves next. But that's given me a little bit of time to throw more lightning bolts his way and kill more heretics. So I am A-okay with that. Entirely part of my plan to lose that fort. Yes, it was. Yes, it was indeed. In the meantime, I'm just moving people around, consolidating on top of this fort. Hopefully I can break it finally pretty soon. He's still got another 170 units there that are not in my dominion, so we'll wait on that for a little bit. Now that I've taken this fort, we will move onwards and upwards and bring my real army in with the rest of my forces in order to either take or at least lock down Hinnom, but I'm sure he will respond to that as soon as he is able. My dominion is starting to move out a little bit from here, but yeah, Illwinter's still up. Lanka's got Gift of Health, and then Mother Oak has been up this whole time as well. For research, I'm not really caring about research, but I will get at least Enchantment 8 for mass regeneration. That's pretty much the only thing that I'm gonna use with it. Unraveling will hurt me more than anyone else, unless it's everyone, so not just enemies. Mists of Deception I could theoretically put up with like a Siddha or somebody, but not likely. Alright, so next, turn 63. A lot of stuff happens this turn. Mostly people casting stuff at me. Toads. Storm of Pazuzu. Oh no, that's not it. And then wasting diseases. So yeah. And then Wrath of God is immediately dispelled, and Lanka puts up global enchantment as well. Yeah, Lanka was not too happy about Wrath of God, probably because of that Turmoil 3 Dominion that he's got going on. Because even though Wrath of God hits primarily in my own Dominion, it actually does hit everywhere in the world. So when I said that it was killing, it wasn't killing anyone in Hinnom, it probably actually was, but not as many as it's killing in my Dominion. And I only see that number, which it doesn't show here because it was dispelled. How many people are wounded and killed, that's only in my dominion because that's all I know. But there are hundreds more people dying all over the world from unexpected lightning strikes. I bought a bunch of mercenaries, basically every single mercenary that was available I think I bought, yep. And they are now here. And he semi-predictably moved here. I think he was going, I did predict that he would consolidate his forces and maybe try and make a defensive Hinnom, but it seems he's going on the offensive again for here. So I got all these mercenaries and we're going to try and hit him here, but he'll probably move off there and then just move here, so I'll just be taking this province back. This I'm just going to sort of leave for a little while because I am focused on other things and I don't really care that he has it, because as long as I can kill these guys, I can take it back with impunity. So we will keep sieging this. Unfortunately, it is still not broken, critically though, so in a turn I'm expecting that to be broken. And I was very grumpy, so I'm going to cast Wrath of God again immediately, and I put basically everything into it. I was like, screw gems, screw all that stuff, I just want Wrath of God. This is going to be a Wrath of God game or nothing. And so I am immediately casting Wrath of God again. And that is that. There's really not a whole lot going on this side of the world for me. There are other things going on, but because it's my Eyes of God is down, I don't see it. Yeah, Lanka cast Vengeful Water, so gonna be harder to invade him if I ever finish wiping up Hinnom, which has not been quite as easy to wipe up as I predicted. The wasting disease that actually hit Kailasa, apparently I really hate the capital city of Kailasa because in all my games it gets completely destroyed. But yeah, it's at 120 unrest right now and I'm not getting anything from it. But I did move everyone out there at the last second in order to join this army. So I only really got a couple of leftover mages that I left there diseased. He's there so he can summon more yakshas with 2 nature, and she's there so I can summon more yakshinis. But since they're both diseased, that's only going to be valuable for a couple of turns if I take advantage of it, which I'm not really because I'm putting all my gems into Wrath of God. So yeah, 1 turn left. 2 turns left, unfortunately, on Enchantment 8. So there's that. Moving on up. Wrath of God goes down again. Another 116 killed in my Dominion alone. And we've got a battle here. Basically him taking the fort. And then this is just me taking a province on my way to Hinnom. And both fortresses are breached immediately. A couple of other unexpected events, but yeah. So my fort here is breached immediately, and this fort is breached. I shouldn't say immediately because this has been going on for like 4 turns. So these 2 are going to be the source of very important conflicts next turn. I'm obviously storming this castle, but I am leaving myself avenues of retreat, having her maintain the siege as well as a couple of other people, and then these are all secured for me, so I am perfectly content that I will not get choked off and them all die if in the off chance that I do retreat. I expect him to storm this fort, so I am teleporting out with my Siddha because it is more important for him to stay alive and keep Wrath of God up than to participate in this battle. He's going to teleport here. And other than that, I've got everyone scripted to communion slave the heck up and turn him into a superpowered Soul Slayer, him into superpowered Soul Slayer. I'm going to put regeneration, relief, personal regeneration for all of the communion slaves, personal luck for all the communion slaves, and earth power, and then strength of Gaia, and power of the spheres, and then howl. Which howl at the end is probably a little slow. I could have put that up much sooner. Body ethereal, but again, body ethereal is not going to work on communion slaves. What else should I do? Maybe cheat fate. That would have been okay. Or not cheat fate. Twist fate is the personal version, caster version. Anytime it says caster, this is going to affect communion slaves. So body ethereal, area of effect 1, not going to affect communion slaves. Just like twist cheat fate is area effect 1, but it's the same effect as twist fate. I could have done bark skin, I guess, or resist magic. Yeah, I'm not sure. He probably could have just soul slayed. Really though, I could have put like 2 to 4, maybe 6 yogis on communion slaves, and then all the rest of the yogis actually put them on like paralyzed spam, or even soul slay spam. That would have probably been a better use for them, because that is just a ridiculous amount of yogis for a communion battery. This is at least like +5 to for all magic for everyone, and I'm only then having like 4 people take advantage of it, so not as efficient. These guys are going to go here to cut off retreat in the event that he does storm the fort with everyone and has nowhere to retreat. I have learned that lesson painfully many times, and will try and take advantage of it if I can. Let's see what happens next. Is there anything else going on? No, I'm just moving a couple of people around. Not a whole lot going on. Alright, that was, sorry, turn 64. 65. Let's see. Okay. Valrest. Now, you may be seeing this and saying, wow, he certainly broke the siege with a whole lot of people. No, that's not actually what he did. What he did was he did not storm the fort where my god and all of those yogis are chilling around. And he took that entire army and moved here to clear off my siege of the fort. It was super effective, as you can probably imagine. So, this was not something that I expected to happen. Yeah, Gandharvas do not last too long. That is a lot of lightning. Some attacking rear demons and griffins. That was sad. I really did not expect that to happen at all. It was quite effective use of his forces, and left me sort of confused as to what to do next. But I do make it to Hinnom, wipe off his PD with virtually no losses, and I have a second army in the way, in the wings. Still killing his units, so as long as Wrath of God stays up, my long-term goal of death by attrition will still succeed. We've still got some of these special monsters from Illwinter harassing me. And then random events. So yeah, We are doing pretty well with Hinnom because he's actually moved a lot of people out into this Doom stack. There's enchantment 8. Got another wasting cloud disease here where my army was. I don't think it actually hit them because it would have gotten everyone. Maybe not everyone. Maybe it did hit some people. Okay, it probably hit some people. But still okay. I am not too concerned. This is my target and should be fine. Oh yeah, except for this. This is not fine. So, and this is also not fine. That's about 1,000 units on my border with only one obvious target. So, I have spent a little too long fighting Hinnom. It has not worked out for me as well as I'd hoped, and it has bogged me down in a quagmire for just long enough for Lanka to get into position to take advantage of it. I have absolutely nothing on literally this half of the world right here to stop this. So I'm not really gonna. I'm gonna pull out of there and consolidate here with a bunch of random yogis and gurus, and then probably stick them with some nature gems and astral pearls to just do all sorts of random battlefield-wide crap and see how many demons I can kill before they're all killed. As for here, he's just going to do the exact same thing he did at the beginning of the game, which is just march straight to Kailasa, and unfortunately I have a whole lot of nothing burger there. I still expect him to move back here because I have no real army there, but if he doesn't, he will move either here or here and probably make for a defensive Hinnom. That is my second guess. In that event, we'll have to adjust that plan, but we'll see. Right now I'm sort of just waiting, and these guys are all on actually patrol in case he does move back here, because A, my research goals are basically met. Unfortunately, I don't have Alteration 9 like I did in my other game, which would have given me armies of gold and lead, and I would have been very happy with those. But it is not to be. I'm using these guys all on patrol in order to force an engagement if he does move back on top of here. Now, I have no gems again, and the reason is because it's been 2 turns. So, sorry, let me consolidate my thoughts. Lanka is about to invade me. He has not been happy with the fact that Wrath of God has been electrifying his units in his turmoil domain, and he's about to enter my regular domain, which also has 1 point of turmoil. Normally would be good for his chaos power loving demons, but we'll keep electrocuting them much more powerfully as soon as he enters my dominion. So there's a almost certainty that he's going to try and dispel Wrath of God again. Rather than let him do that, I know how much I spent on Wrath of God. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overcast it by 2. Probably by 1 actually, since I'm guessing I probably cast it for 71. I literally turned all of my gems, except for a handful, into 72 pearls, and I'm going to cast it again immediately. Even though I already have it up, this will probably be a huge waste. But the thing is, nobody else knows how much I put into Wrath of God. So this was sort of a little bit of a thought process experiment of mine to see what would happen. Because if he does cast Dispel on the turn that he begins his invasion of me, what will that Dispel be targeting? My guess is that it will be targeting this Wrath of God. Now, once I overcast Wrath of God, the Dispel is not targeting a generic spell called Wrath of God. and therefore will not just dispel any Wrath of God that is in the game. No, it is targeting this cast of Wrath of God. My guess is that overcasting and recasting Wrath of God replaces this Wrath of God before he dispels Wrath of God. Therefore, he will actually waste his gems trying to dispel Wrath of God, and I will have cast Wrath of God, and he will not know what I did. He will see a message saying, dire portent, Wrath of God, and whatnot, but I don't think that he will get that that was what I did. And so therefore, his dispel having failed, he will think that I have put in a ridiculous number of pearls into the original cast of Wrath of God. Whereas in actuality, if he just dispelled again at like 72 pearls, he could get rid of this Wrath of God quite easily. And that war of attrition I would not win, because my gem income is probably much, 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 much less than his. He is very big. He has been very big for most of the game. I am very small, and I am constantly fighting Hinam, and twice now I have turned all of my gems into pearls in order to do this sort of crazy experiment here. But that was my plan. And in addition to that plan, I am also trying to take out Hinam. And you know what? Screw Lanka invading me. I don't care. He can take these lands. He can take that land. I'm just going to finish off Hinam. That is my sole purpose in life. If I do that and I'm still alive and the game's not over, I will see about what I can do with Lanka. In the meantime, I've only got these guys, and they will forge a Bell of Cleansing, which is completely useless in this particular circumstance. And then we'll just sort of experiment with random battlefield-wide spells and see what happens. So, shall we see what happened next turn, and if my plan worked? Drum roll. Pangea also cast a spell, but most importantly, it worked, or at least Wrath of God is still up, that is to say. Over the course of discussion with the player who is Lanka, he actually messaged me in Discord and asked about this and what the heck had happened. Now, in-game, I didn't actually explain to him what I had done the turn after, obviously, but he was very confused and was like, how come my dispel didn't work? He must have put in some crazy number of gems, and why was there like a buggy message saying that Wrath of God was cast again? I was like, I don't know why, that's crazy. What? Who told you that? Super weird, I know, right? But yeah, he figured it out later. We talked about it after the game was over. It was very entertaining for me. I don't know still if that actually did work like that. If anyone knows the actual order of how those things work, I know that there is a list of the order in terms of casting spells in the manual, but I'm still not entirely sure if I was right in the interpretation of how that worked. But it would be interesting to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think and how you think that worked out. I did sort of preemptively attack with some miscellaneous earth gnomes that I had lying around into the water because I knew that he was attacking me here. He predictably will take this fort in a turn. He is using Thugged Dakinis here. These guys are pretty good, pretty cool. This combo is very fascinating. Pretty simplistic, but very effective. Air gives you a lot of defensive buffs. Blood, meh, not so much. But yeah, she's pretty good, thug-wise. 80 hit points, that's crazy. I did not know Okay, so it's heroic toughness, yeah. Okay, so she's pretty heavily thuggy. And then his bless is, of course, ridiculous. So yeah, that's effective. I'm going to break siege and see how effective it is against Swarm Creeping Doom spam. And then Soul Slay. What is his magic resistance, by the way? Because he doesn't have Astral, so he can't boost it. It's only 16. Could probably get in a lucky Soul Slay there. So yeah. These guys aren't going to back him up because he's going to be finishing taking this fort. But I can, so I can confidently say that they'll be able to just take on a Dakini by themselves. But I guess we'll find out. He's moving up here. I'm going to take this water province. And I don't really know what I'm doing. He's just sort of going to go and make his presence known, I guess. Alright, so the patrol thing didn't work, mostly because he didn't take the bait and he decided to move here, and so there is going to be an epic showdown in Hinam. Now this battle that you're about to see, I actually did a full breakdown in another video, so I won't go over all of that again. You can go find that at a different place in my channel, and I will show the results next turn. In addition to all of these guys that we have going on here, lots of communion slaves. By the way, I've mentioned it before, but these celestial soldiers who are normally Tianqi units, because they are magical beings and sacred, they take advantage of the bless, or not the bless, the special national spell, celestial music, that would normally only get my magical being sacred units. Gives quickness battlefield wide for all magical being sacred units. So that's cool. Fun little factoid. He's going to teleport onto Hinam to make this epic battle much more epicer. And it's going to be a pretender versus pretender battle because he got his great white bull back. And so we'll see the results of that shortly. What else? Niflheim has actually been fighting Pangaea with varying amounts of success. There have been some successes in terms of his pushing pretty deep into Pangaea's lands, but ultimately Pangaea was so much bigger that turned out that he pushed him back and did not succeed at his ultimate goal of raffle stomping Pangaea. Also, Illwinter has gone down, so that might have been due to Pangaea as well. Okay, that was, sorry, I do this all the time, turn 66. Alright, last turn of this video, and then we'll call it a night and wrap up the series next week. Niflheim and I have been trading still. I would be giving him mostly blood slaves because I have no use for them, only because I didn't make a use for them, but Astral and Earth I can use, especially if I keep doing this whole back and forth with Wrath of God for the rest of the game. Cast Teleport, and we have the battle in Hinam. I do succeed. I win the battle, and his forces are routed. His bull escapes. I do not kill the bull, but I kill basically his entire army. But I also lose quite a bit. I get a lucky enslaved Melkort, and my pretender gets sniped by a stray Soul Slay, unfortunately. Being a high hit point unit, it makes you a pretty good magnet for that, especially when everyone else is like not high hit point units. So Soul Slays were drawn to him and he succumbed to one. So yeah, I have no more pretender. My crappy bless is no longer going to be either hampering or benefiting me. But shortly thereafter, I storm the castle and I take it. So Hinam is now mine. He does still have some people running around, and he still has one fort. right here, which he can run back to. This is where most of the remnants of his army is. I decide not to chase him down, even though I probably could. I did take quite a heavy beating here, but I have more than he does and would probably kill him. But I want my god back. Crappy bless as it is, I think that I will need my pretender in order to fight Lanka. So everyone is on call god duty, except for these guys who are on patrol duty. I'm going to try out some random combinations to see what I can do to hurt him. I'm going to do some Foul Vapors, and I'm going to do Solar Brilliance. He doesn't have any poison resistance, and Solar Brilliance is just burns all undead and demonic units to cinders, so that seems promising. I gave him a crap ton of random items and a whole lot of gems, and same for her. I suppose at this point, if they all die and he gets all those items, it's not going to be that much worse for me, so we'll just see what happens. This was actually successful, semi-surprisingly. And why was it successful? Creeping Dooms. And the Creeping Dooms show up in her face. That's a lot of snared bugs. Soul Slays, not successful yet. Enlarge Wooden Warriors. Okay. Lots more backup bugs coming in. Come on, you can do it. So far, I have not actually hit her. Yeah, so this is debatably effective. But I'm getting a lot of enslaved minds out now. Some paralyzes. Oh, there it goes. Got her. So yeah. No, stop. That enslaved mind was not super successful, or that magic resistance was not super successful for her. It shows that she died, but she did not actually die because I have her right here. So enslaved mind was successful. Don't really have a use for a random unit Dakini, but it was fun nonetheless. Predictably, I lost that fort. And so we're just going to sit around and call our god back. And in the meantime, hope that I kill off a bunch of these almost 500 units with some random battlefield-wide crap. And then maybe I can repeat the process here. I brought my Fairy Queen over here. We can do some fun Wrathful Skies, Howls, all sorts of fun stuff here. So, that's the plan, and we'll see how debatably effective it is in the conclusion of Basil is not ideal next week. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.